Hi, and welcome to the next edition of the Promising Creative, where I've got Gus and Austin, and we're here to talk about their project and what they're working on and their trials and tribulations. So welcome, guys, for coming on this hot, sunny day. Probably when we air this, it'll be freezing and raining, but whatever. And I want to talk to you a little bit about, you guys just launched your own magazine. First of all, before we get there, just tell me how you two know each other. How's the connection come?
We met at a uni interview, and it was so awkward. Like, it was so awkward. I'm a naturally awkward person, and from there, it's like we started building on. He almost didn't make it.
We didn't say a word to each other, but we got someone in the class was like, get each other's Instagrams, and then we just saw each other's Instagrams, and we're like, oh damn, that's hard. And then you text me the week after,
and I was like,
asked me to help you out with something.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he like, I don't know, from instant, like from the small, like brief conversation we had, it was like, oh damn, I found someone that's on the same wavelength, or someone that gets it.
Okay.
And then from there, it was like, oh shit, I gotta work with him.
Okay. And what does get it mean for you? What is that in terms of like when you say get it? You mean creatively, or?
Yeah, creatively. Like creatively gets it in like same wavelength, like same mission. Like,
okay.
Almost like seeing a bat signal is like, oh damn, I know what it means.
Okay.
Yeah, like
okay.
that, yeah.
He put up the bat signal. Who was Batman? Okay, so you met at uni, and you're still studying, or you finished, or?
I've just finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and what were you studying?
I was doing fashion styling.
Okay.
I was doing creative direction with fashion.
Okay.
I'm trying to currently like unlearn everything from the past 3 years.
Okay. Why is that?
I just feel like everything they taught us was maybe for like a whole different I don't want to say generation, but a whole different like space of time.
Yeah.
So like when now everything is like so fast paced, and you almost have to be hands on. It can't just all be theory.
Yeah. Come on, unis, get your shit together, man. Get with the times. Okay, so basically you guys have met, you finished. You must have finished earlier.
Oh no. Finishing time.
Okay, finished at the same time. Tell me a little bit about, is it L-Dopa?
L-Dopa.
L-Dopa. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I was sitting in my bedroom with my ex-girlfriend, and we were looking through stuff to do with dopamine as kind of a starting point. You know, it was something that was so free and so open and could go anywhere. Like dopamine, what makes you happy? You know, the links of people being addicted to scrolling on their phones, and trying to make something that was almost the antidote to that. So L-Dopa comes as it's the precursor to dopamine in your brain.
Yeah.
So your body has to process that before it can make dopamine. So the idea of the magazine was like, it's the precursor to dopamine. Like, it's all the stuff that we enjoy.
You're doing like the whole stuff as you're flipping through the magazine. You're doing the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like to feel the dopamine from it.
Okay. And you decided to do a magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me more about when you decided that and what your process was behind that.
It was mostly, I guess it was like, because we're always running around in Soho. Like, I know this probably sounds like a crazy tangent, but like, we're always running around in Soho because like we have like this nostalgic feeling for the space and the area. And like, we're always just sitting on curbs, and one day we were just sat there and we're like we really want to impact this space, and we want to impact like life in general. And from there it was like, we love magazines. Like, we love like the little trinkets that come with like children magazines, like that nostalgia and that feeling of like seeing them. We're like, this is missing from the space. Like, why isn't no one doing this? Why is no one like challenging this? And then from there it was like, if no one's gonna do it, we're gonna do it ourselves.
Okay. And you took the jump. When did you have that thought, and when did you produce your first publication?
Probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably had the conversation 2 years ago, and then from that point we were just collecting things and soaking things up.
Yeah.
Kind of, it was in our heads.
Okay.
But we were kind of working towards it.
And so you did most of the work yourself?
Yeah.
So it's 176 pages, right?
Yeah, 100.
Yeah.
It's a lot of papers, a lot of editorial to fill.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot.
we collaborated with a lot, like our contributors are kind of
Close friends
from social media. Most of them we haven't actually met
in person,
but we kind of know on the internet, so we ask them. So it's all in house. Like, it's all our mates or people that we know.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
What's been your biggest challenge with that? Because you got an idea and you're like, right, I'm going to run with it.
Yeah.
What's
Honestly,
been your biggest challenge?
When I think about it, I'm not 100% sure because like
Doing it, I think it's just the doing of it. The money, obviously.
the money obviously, but I feel like money is always a problem now. But just doing it has never been so hard.
Yeah.
I guess probably the hardest bit that came down was probably like selecting the work and figuring out what's gonna go in, because it's like some people we know and we're like, oh, this won't work with what we want to have in here. So I guess that's probably like, for me, that was probably like the hardest bit. Like
Deciding what creatively would go in the publication.
almost like because they're like friends. It's like, damn, like if I don't get my friend in, it's like they're gonna be looking at me sideways. But like at the end of the day, it's like we have to hold the integrity to like what like
the vision that you
the
have.
vision, and like pushing out something really good.
Okay.
I think you have an exciting idea and it all feels amazing at the moment, and then you realize that like the cool bit that you love is maybe like 10%, 15%, and then actually making it happen is like all the boring things you got to do in between.
Yeah.
That like neither of us are naturally good at. So it's like learning all those boring skills just so that you can get to like step one kind of thing.
Or jumping them and like having to circle back to them like
Yeah, for sure.
right before launch.
And you funded it. You said you funded it by doing other projects.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about the other projects that you guys are working on.
My own projects. I take old iPhones and customize them,
Okay.
and old iPods and customize them as well, and like just load them with like videos I make, or like photos I curate, or like songs like I hear. I'm like, it's almost like I don't want to say time capsule, but it's like I'd say like I'd say it's best to say it's like a feeling, like all put into one of like an old object, but making it like not making it obsolete, because I don't believe like old phones are obsolete or like old things are obsolete. So that's like one of my main projects. And then I also like do music videos and help with like artist consultation.
Okay. So you guys have funded it, and what about you, Gus? What was you doing?
I've just been like full mindset on the magazine and kind of the back end.
And how do you guys survive?
marketing.
Like, how do you guys survive when you're going into that mode where you're like, you're trying to fund something, work on it? Do you take other jobs or?
For me, it's like a crash and burn. It's like I don't know. It's probably really bad, but for me, it's like, for me, it's like, this is plan A and there's only plan A. It's like, if I'm not putting everything into it, it's like, am I really for it? For me.
Yeah.
And you feel the same?
I'm working at a Snappy Snaps, so that's how I get my money, like 3-4 days a week.
Yeah, so you're working, earning a bit of money, so you're living.
Yeah, now
and then you're putting your time and effort into your dream. I guess that's what it is.
100%.
And where would you like to see that to go? Do you sit and discuss that, or do you think, this is
every day?
Just the other day, like I called
day.
him just to like figure out what we were gonna do today, and like we just ended up talking about like what we're gonna do for the magazine, like for like another hour or so. Like,
do you write that down, or how do you document what you want to do?
Yeah, my notes page is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the notes. You don't write anything down.
I don't ever write anything down, because I feel like if the idea is good, it will stick in my head. If it's not, then it will just like
brush off.
When
you finished it, how did that feel?
Oh man,
we were talking about this.
This is wild.
It's the best feeling in the world, but it only lasts for 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's the best feeling in the world. You feel euphoric. But for me, like it felt
when
euphoric.
we finally got it.
When we finally got it done, and like we had like the mini event for it, it was like the greatest feeling in the world. And then it's like, bang, straight back to square one. So it's like, it's 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
I think when we first started out with the magazine, it was pretty much like, the easiest way I could describe it was, you were striving for excellence that you would never achieve.
Yeah.
So you did it, and you're like, I can do that better. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go again.
Yeah.
Oh God, that took all that effort. Now we have to go again.
That's the feeling. That's like the feeling right now. Is like, I realized like, damn, we're back to zero. Like, we're back to like this very start again.
Yeah. And will you do another issue?
100%.
100%. Like, I feel like, well, we're currently working on it, not like pen to paper, but like we have thoughts of like who we want in it, and like how we want it to look, kind of.
Yeah.
I think we change the format up every time.
Yeah.
So
In what way? What makes you creatively tick for it?
it's just the excuse to do something really, and a magazine is kind of. I think we changed the medium up, so you know, magazine, zine. Maybe it's an object next time, or maybe it's I don't know, an item of clothing or something like that. But yeah, just a vehicle for us to tell our story and what we're up to.
Okay, I like the idea of you saying that you're creating stuff, this capsule of time or sound or visuals, whatever you want. What gave you that idea to do that?
I'd probably say for like a long time, like as a child, I always like just used to make custom things.
Okay.
I was mainly like an Apple fanboy, so I'd always send like designs over to the campus, and just I don't know, just that excitement of like wanting to like be a part of that, and I don't know, making something to like put back into the pool of like human experience.
Yeah.
Like that's just I don't know, that cycle of like wanting to do that has always pushed me. And then once I got a bit older and like I had the money, I was like, shit, like I might as well like customize these how I wanted to do them as a child, but like do them like with like all the knowledge I have now and like push it forward.
And how do you sell them? How do people purchase them?
I have a website. Like I made a website.
Okay.
And like I feel like I had like a small like Instagram gathering of like a small community of like 10, 20 people like that really still mess with it. And yeah, shout out to everyone like that just push it, and it's just been able to be this little thing.
So it's quite creative, and I guess you're also creative, but I get a sense that you're also checking not necessarily all the numbers, but you're being quite methodical about everything that happens around the back end of.
I guess because you're not good at it, so
yeah,
I'm like damn.
Organized to like the T. He thinks
But
he's
I'm
not organized.
I'm not. It's just if I don't do it, then it won't get
No,
done.
but he's like so organized. Like even with the start of it, like he made the spreadsheets for everything, so like we can track like what we spend in, and then also like even the little things like printing out like all the little pieces of paper of like what we're gonna like how we're gonna arrange the photos. Like he did all of that, and I was like, damn, like. Yeah,
and that's a good little thing you've got going.
Yeah,
because one does one and the other does the other.
Yeah, or like
yeah. I mean, like, we both I do the creative stuff as well. Sure.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But you also need to have someone that can keep track of when things are exploding. That someone's got control of it. Otherwise, your costs run wild. And so you said that you wanted to turn it into more of an agency.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
What type of agency is that? And how do you get to that thought process? Like, where did you go from, right, it's a magazine, now it's going to be an agency? What type of agency is it, is my question. And how are you going to get there?
I'd say the magazine is a catalog for what we can offer and like our tastes, basically.
Yeah.
And how to get to like being an agency, I feel like we're practicing that right now. So like whatever jobs we get separately, like either like if he has a music video job, we'll brand it under L-Dopa. Yeah. So it's like
everything that we do.
Yeah, like, everything. Yeah, even like the little stuff. Like he makes jewelry.
Okay.
So that's L-Dopa.
So that's like branded under L-Dopa. So then it's like once we have all these things in place, and like you see like, oh, there's a music video, but I saw L-Dopa. It's like, yeah, that's the agency.
And tell me more about your jewelry and where does that come from?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been fascinated by jewelry, but I've never been able to buy like my own piece of jewelry before. Like, just never had the money for it. So I thought, damn, if I can buy some wire and stuff, if I can make myself a chain, then I didn't have to buy it. I can make it myself. And that's kind of the ethos for a lot of the things, really. It's like, if you want it, you can make it yourself. Yeah.
And you made that yourself as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And you made that?
Yeah.
It's really cool. So tell me more about how you go about making it. You just go online, buy the material, and then do you have a workshop at home? I just
started watching YouTube videos.
Good old YouTube.
Yeah, man.
Plug. Come on, YouTube. We need you over here.
And then shout out my nan because she let me use her garage. So I started making the G-rings on in my nan's garage.
And you sell them, or?
I'm starting to, yeah. Like they're on the L-Dopa website, so people can inquire and get them made. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. We'll put that up so people can see it. Hopefully, purchase some of your bits.
Most definitely.
So, tell me more about the jewelry. how do you want to develop that? I mean, I know it's going to sit under the umbrella, but obviously that's your creative direction and your feel. How do you go about thinking about what you want to put on there and how you want to make it? Like, how did that bit of jewelry come about? What was the inspiration behind it?
I think more so the ring. This has kind of randomly come together. Like, this is like a scrap off the bench kind of thing that I just like now I wear. But more with the rings, like, I don't know
what material
it's silver. It's about I fallen in love with the silhouette of it because it's so painfully simple.
Yeah.
And kind of it's super simple, and it's like it takes inspiration for like big championship rings and like big hip hop rings and stuff, but it's kind of stripped down to the bare element of it. It's just solid silver. It's good self-protection, self-defense.
Get in trouble like walking into clubs with these. Like,
for sure.
And what is there a piece of jewelry that you'd love to make that you think, oh my god, that is what I want to make? And what is that?
It's called the rhubarb and custard ring, and it's basically that's called the G ring. Rhubarb and custard is basically this, but dipped in gold. So the top face is all gold, like plated, and then the top face is like fully iced out with like pink sapphires, so it looks like a dessert.
Okay.
So that's on the website, and I'm waiting for someone to pay like all the money, and then I can actually get it made.
Okay. So go and check the web out if you want a rhubarb and custard.
Yeah, facts.
Not the sweet.
Not the sweet. Like we'll send you the actual ring.
Okay, cool. So you're both quite creative individuals.
Yeah.
You kind of let your creative, if it doesn't stick with you, it doesn't stay with you. Whereas you're like quite, I'm going to jot it all down.
Yeah, otherwise
I'm going to forget. Yeah, I know that feeling really well. Yeah. So your agency is about promoting different bits, whether it's arts management, music videos, jewelry, magazines, whatever it may be. It's just a collective of creativisms that you lot put in a pot and you call it your brand.
It's an excuse to make stuff and to put us on and our friends on, and just support our community.
I feel like that's like the key thing, putting on like these groups of people that are like so talented, but we don't feel like they're getting enough recognition, like their work or like their work ethic in general. So it's like, if no one's gonna like give eyes, it's like we'll try. I mean, we'll scream and shout it for you. Like, I feel like we're like a megaphone. Like, yo, check out check out
Okay. Okay, cool. I like that. That's what it's about. I think if everyone rubs everyone's back, it starts to make things a bit more
easy.
Because I think on the way up, people don't want to let other people up.
Especially London.
Bro, one important thing like Gus ever said to me was like, why help them repair their table or like help or go sit at their table or try joining when we can like make our own table to sit at with our own friends and like enjoy the feast of like our fruits. But I feel like one great example of it is like Clint, like with like how he rolls with all his friends, like the owner of Cortez, like how he's like came up with all his friends. I feel like that's like one of the most prevalent like examples of that, and I feel like it's one thing that we want to champion and like show people like, yo, if we can see that it's working, like why can't we do it? Like,
what's been your biggest challenge to date? Like, you can answer this separately. Like, what's been your biggest challenge? Like, what's the biggest hurdle you've had to get over?
I think probably. So the magazine was like mainly pictures on my girlfriend, right? And we broke up just before it was about to come out. So to be honest, on like a personal level, that was probably like the hardest thing that I've ever done, because I was trying to do it for like 2 years and it was my main focus. Everything was focused about the magazine. And then all that happened. I was like, damn, I've got to stare at this all day. So it was just working through that and trying to get the magazine out and trying to put all my energy into that at the same time. It was like, this mad, Really that, to be honest.
And what about you?
For me, I feel like it's more of a I feel like my main struggle right now is probably like speaking with people. I feel like I'm really awkward, or like I really come off cold sometimes.
Okay.
So I feel like that messes it up with like trying to like get to know people, or like I don't know, talk to like, I don't want to say peers because peers sounds a bit too businessy, but like
bit wanky.
yeah, but like everyone in like
Just normal people.
Yeah, just like everyone in the everyone in the space. I feel like I do want to venture out and like talk to everyone and like get to know everyone, like try like / work, but it's like I'm too like quiet and focused. I feel like I'm too focused in like wanting to do work to the point where it's like socially I'm like,
Have you? Are you working on that? But it's good that you know it. So do you try and work around that, or how do you when you see that kind? It's a big thing you're saying. Like to recognize it is pretty impressive because you know it's there. But then B, you've then got a challenge.
I've got to challenge it, but at the same time, I also feel like it's a thing. It kind of saves me, low key. It sounds really bad. Like I was talking to Gus about it. Like it sounds really bad. But like, I feel like it's also a saving grace at times because then it's like the amount of like BS I've had to go through with like speaking with some people and it's like not worked out. I'm like, damn, I wish like my thing kicked in and like I come off cold and like they didn't want to
chat,
talk with me. But then some other times it's like people I really want to work with, like I can't speak properly. It's like, damn, I kind of like messed that up low key.
Okay.
So I'm like,
do you talk to Gus about that sometimes? Say, Gus, jump in or.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes.
yeah.
You're doing a new issue, starting January. You're not sure what it is. It may not be a magazine, is what you're saying.
It might be a catalogue for the agency, or it might be a magazine, or we might do, I don't know, we might do the agency atelier catalogue and then drop the magazine. But we're not sure.
And when you say you've got like a music video, what do you mean by that? What do you do for the music video?
It would still be like either like whatever, like if Gus is feeling like a creative vision for the video, like after he's heard the song, then we'll go full straight on with it. If I feel like a way about a song and I'm like, oh, this is how I see the video, like I can see it like this, then we go for it. But then it's still under L-Dopa at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's just a creative direction, whichever one. Or sometimes do you work creatively together, or if one has, or do you go around, what about this? Do you bounce stuff off each other, or?
Yeah,
always.
Always. I think so, yeah.
So do you know where you would want to be
in
12 months? Let's not think any further than that.
12 months.
Yeah.
I have a rough idea of what I'd like to be. It's like I'd say doing more in person, being more in person.
Okay.
More in person things, being able to like interact with the people, because I feel like most of like the audience that I have is like, or like we have in general, is not here in London, low key. Everything is spread out sparsely across, like it's either America, Asia, or like Europe, some parts of Europe. And I feel like the next thing, well, I'd want to be in person, seeing everyone and like, yo, I'd love to give you this in person, like give you the experience in person, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 100%, hopefully in 12 months, like you won't be able to walk around Soho without seeing like a massive L-Dopa thing, like everywhere you go. Like,
I mean, we're doing that right now.
Everyone will know about it.
I feel like we've gone away about it, like doing guerrilla marketing. Like we found a loophole for it. Low key, Gus found a loophole for us.
Tell us about it.
I don't know if we can.
Don't want to get caught.
Yeah, but like
we'll blank your faces out if you get caught like crime watch or something.
Bad.
I say like one thing is like with rub-ons, like you see like vinyls, we'll just stick them, or like with tape. Like if you ever see like a post box with like L-Dopa tape wrapped around it,
then we know it's you.
Well, it's not us, but like
us.
Grace is gonna be mad at us. But like, I wouldn't say we stores, like we sell tape on the website, and like if people buy them and they actually do it, it's like love for us. It's like,
okay,
like, thank you like for like doing it for us. But yeah,
okay. So you've got tape and people are using it.
Yeah,
basically.
People are using the tape.
Amazing.
Whichever way they
feel fit.
They feel fit, and it's like it's awesome.
It's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, it's cool. Like
you just sold it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like they do that. Really.
Okay, cool. I want to touch on so in the realms of like an experimental media entrepreneurship, which I think you guys are. You're entrepreneurial, you're creative. you're trying to go somewhere. What advice would you offer other aspiring creatives?
This
Who
is
are
a
just
question I
starting out
always
on their
think about.
journey? It's
Always
like you
think
guys
about
have just
it, man.
started out. You're quite new in your journey, but what would you give to yourselves 2 years ago when you started? Like, how would you give you, now that you're here 2 years later, what would you be saying to yourselves 2 years later?
You go first. I want to think about it.
I would say.
What would you tell, like, you know, you two are sitting here 2 years ago and you come in and you're like, right, guys, listen.
I'd say like, it's all you. One of my gripes is like everything is too homogenous. Like everything is too the same. Everything is like, oh, that person's doing that. Okay, let me do it as well. I'd say stick to whatever you feel is worth it to do, or like whatever you feel like you want something to look like, do it exactly how you want to do it. Don't do it the other way.
Yourself.
Yeah, just trust yourself. Don't do it the same way everyone else has done it, because then it's like you're gonna get lost in the noise regardless. You have to do it how you see it.
Okay.
I just say with anything, just make a start. Just make a start. Just stop thinking about it and just make a start. Do the first thing. You know, just open your laptop. I don't know.
And get going.
Watch a YouTube video. Just start. Because there's no other real way of doing anything unless you just get stuck in.
So like you're saying, like, be authentic to yourself.
Yeah,
believe in whatever it is. Like, don't copy.
100%.
Just do what you love. And you're saying, just get on and start doing it.
Yeah.
So that actually they work together.
Yeah.
So if there's any procrastination at some point, it can stop and you can begin. Because it's hard thinking of something. It's
100%.
easy to think, but then the actual doing.
To do that action is always hard.
And you know, you guys did procrastinate for a little while. You did talk about it a lot, but then you got on and did it.
Yeah.
And did people laugh at you when you were doing it? Did you get any like people were like, "Oh, please, come on"?
I feel like,
did that come from anywhere, or if it did, if someone was like quite dismissive, how did you deal with it?
You know what?
I'd say blinkers on, innit?
I have my blinkers on, but like I still notice it and I still note it down. Not like I don't
How do you
like
note it
forgive
down?
and forget.
Like mentally.
Yeah, it's like a mental note. It's like, all right, cool.
I remember that.
Yeah, like you didn't see it now. Like a lot of my frustration, like when making this, is probably like when you try to explain it to like a tutor or something, and like they don't fully see it, and it's like, oh wait, why are you doing it like this? And it's like, I know this is gonna sound like so like arsehole-y, but like I trust myself. I trust myself. Like I don't want to do it like I don't want to follow a blueprint. I have to. I don't know. I feel like an inkling, like, yo, it has to be done this way, like for my own sake.
Okay.
And I feel like once you experience that 1 or 2 times, it's like I just shut it off and I'm like, all right, I'll block everything else off. I'm gonna do this the way I want to do it. And once I get it done, it's like I did it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think as soon as people start not believing in you and showing hate and stuff, that's when you kind of know that you're like
onto something.
Definitely onto something. So it's motivation. I feel like without that, it would be harder to do it. Really, you got to have people not believing in you. You got to have people talking shit all the time, because it really does. It makes you want to just
That's fuel.
do it more, and you know that you're doing the right things if people are starting to hate, for sure.
Oh, you haters, stop hating.
Nah, we love the haters.
Love is what we need. Okay, so I want to thank you for coming on. It's a short, sharp interview, but I think that I'd like to see how this progresses, and then maybe in 12 months get you back in and see where the brand's gone, where your journey's gone, you know, the struggles that you've had.
For sure.
You know, hopefully the bigger jobs that they start to come in, and you know, it's exciting to see, you know, young guys just going out there, seeing a vision and going and grabbing it. So thank you for coming in and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers, bro.
Peace. Love.
Wicked.